fires it out, and it is intercepted again.
He's up off the field. He's got it in wide open down the left sideline. He gets the edge. He stiff arms a couple of tacklers. Look at this. What a hit. That is a great play. He's got a receiver. He's got it deep. Oh, what an interception. Wow.
He's got an opening.
Got past the second level. One man to beat. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to another edition of ICRC-TV's Friday Night Football. Tonight we're coming to you from the beautiful Bill Kuntz Field here at Harrison, Ohio, the windswept plains, the soybean fields of Harrison, where tonight Harrison Wildcats are playing host to the Talawanda Braves. A little bit about the Harrison Wildcats. They're coming into this game with a record of 3 wins and 2 losses. They lost a tough one last week to Edgewood's Cougars at Edgewood. They were leading going into the final 5 minutes, lost that lead, and as a result, lost the game. But they hope to come back tonight with a strong showing against the Talawanda Braves. And Walt Chunk, my cohort tonight, back in action after a week off at Harrison here a few weeks back. So, Walt, tell us a little bit something about the Talawanda Braves.
You know, first of all, it's great to be back, Jeff. Limited myself a little bit here. We're going to change roles this evening. I do want to talk about Talawanda here. A few years ago, Talawanda kind of scared us a few times. This year, they're not having a great year. They've got some sophomores and juniors, maybe a couple freshmen thrown into the pack, looking for the future. They're 0-5 right now, looking for their first win of the year. They're not that bad of a football team, but they're really struggling, Jeff. Vonderheide. By the way, JD came from the Harrison coaching staff here, and now he's the head coach up at Talawanda, and he's a good man, and if anybody can put him back on the right track, he can. Okay. Jeff, the kickoff, it's your call.
All right, Kyle Farsing for the Wildcats. It's a short kick, recovered by Talawanda at looks like at about the 40-yard line, Walt. So Talawanda's going to come out to start action here. They're going to be led by number 2, Adam Crank, indicative of their young team. He's a fine young sophomore quarterback. So Coach Vonderheide's playing for the future here. So they're going to come out right away in the shotgun formation. 3 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Nobody else in the backfield.
I'm really kind of surprised. Harrison won the toss, Jeff, and they elected to kick the ball. A lot of teams have been doing that. I'm kind of against that.
First throw out there, complete to number 15. That's going to be Lucas Snell for Talawanda. Looks like about a gain of about 8, maybe 9 yards on that play, Walt. I think the idea was that they probably wanted to defer. They'll take the second. Harrison will take the second half kickoff. And they figure with a young team like this, if their Harrison defense can make a statement, they can maybe get Talawanda behind the 8 ball early here. Mike Browning made that stop for Harrison, by the way.
Yeah. So the first play is a big one over here for Talawanda, Jeff. 9 yards in the first one. Okay. Second one's going to be a running. He's going to get the first down for him, Jeff.
Yeah, going to be handoff to number 20, Blake Bryant. Going to just get enough yardage to get, and he's going to get over into Harrison territory. Looks like they're going to spot the ball at about the 49-yard line. So give Talawanda a new series of downs. Hayden Ellis made that tackle for Harrison. Walt, Hayden Ellis had a fine year for Harrison so far out. Fine young senior defensive back. Okay, once again, back in the shotgun, Crank is.
Harrison's only had 1 bad game this year, Jeff. They've been playing some good football.
Well, another completion, number 23, Kyle Campbell. So right now, Talawanda's doing a little picking apart of the Wildcat pass defense here. Nothing long, but little short passes and getting underneath the defense and picking up some yardage. Once again, about another gain of 8, maybe 9 on the play there. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 2, it looks like, according to the officials.
You know, their first 3 plays have all been successful. I'm sure they went through some films here. They know what Harrison's got.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, Harrison's 2 losses. Last week, the Edgewood loss was a real disappointment for the Wildcats. They were leading that game well into it. Cranks back to pass, got under some pressure. He's just going to ditch it out there and throw it over to the Harrison, the green track here at Bill Kuntz Field. So unload it. Live to play another day. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1. It's still a makeable play there. And you might even consider this 4-down territory at the inside the 40 anyway, if you're of Harrison.
Actually, Jeff, that was a pretty good call. Everybody expected to run, and it wasn't.
Yep.
A run.
Well, I was going to say the officials were just conferring there, and they've decided that Mr. Crank is guilty of intentional grounding. So that's.
You know, I kind of suspected that, Jeff, but I don't really. It's a hard one to make. They're in the pocket, and you just throw it, and there's nobody nearing.
Yeah,
You just threw it
yeah,
out of
definitely
bounds.
was nobody there. So it's just the question. Usually the officials are reluctant to call that unless it's just really blatant, and they did have to have a little conference to decide if they wanted to throw it or not. But after meeting of the minds, it is decided.
No, it's going to hurt Talawanda really
Yeah.
bad. First,
So that
first penalty of the ball game.
Yeah, that's a
Jeff.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul waltz. That really marches them back. They had 3rd and 1. Well, guess what? Now it's going to be 3rd and about 20. Takes them out of that 4-down territory setup. I'm sure of that. Crank back in the shotgun. He's looking to the left. Has he got a receiver? He's got his receiver. Picked up the 20 and more. That's going to be number 20, Blake Bryant again for Talawanda.
He was covered pretty good. That pass was on the money.
You know, J.D. Vonderheide, their coach, his offense is definitely his forte. He's his own offensive coordinator. When he was on the staff here at Harrison, he ran the offense, and tell you what, he knows what he's doing on that side of the ball. No question about that. So, and I have a funny feeling too. Harrison's going to have to make sure they're up here tonight. It is homecoming night tonight, but when you're facing a team that's 0-5, it's not hard to take them easy. Receivers wide open out there, but Crank just left it a little bit long for number 15, Lucas Snell.
That was a bad pass all the way, Jeff. A good pass there. Could have been a touchdown. He was wide open.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
Okay.
I guess he expected Lucas to put a little steam on, which didn't happen.
Temporary officials timeout here. Head of Harrison player number 25, Cooper McElroy, tying his shoe. It's tied. Crank. And this time we're going to finally go on the ground here a little
not
bit.
going to go anywhere, Jeff.
Crank didn't get a darn thing. So 44 made the tackle for Harrison. That's Austin Silcox, the fine young defensive linebacker for the Wildcats. So they're back in the 3rd down situation again, this time 3rd and 10. They picked up that big 1st down, got them back into the field down about the 27-yard line of Harrison. But let's see what Coach Vonderheide has in his bag of tricks for this one. Crank back to pass. Tell you what, there was a little pushing and shoving there between Terrell Wills, Talawanda, and the Harrison defensive back. But to make a long story short, pass wasn't there anyway, so it's going to bring up 4th and 10.
You get a young quarterback like that in there, Jeff, and every once in a while, what can he do? That could have been intercepted just as easy, too.
Okay, well, they're going to go for it here on 4th down. Back in the shotgun again. They've been successful so far, so let's see what happens. Rolling right, looking back to the left. Nobody's out there to cover number 20, and he may go for a long way on this one. But it's going to be called back, I do believe. Blake Bryan caught that pass out there in the flats. Made some nice yardage, but I believe it's going to be marching back.
Jeff, I didn't see the penalty over there. What do you think it was, Holden?
Yeah, looks like an ineligible man downfield.
Oh, okay.
So with an ineligible receiver downfield.
Well, I really didn't see any holding or anything wrong.
That's going to march it back a little bit more. Let's see what the Braves do if they decide to go for it. Now that it's 4th and 15, so they'll replay 4th down.
I don't think kicking's going to help them any, Jeff.
Yeah, I think the Braves are going to go for it again. Crank's back there. Yeah, for a young quarterback, right so far he's shown pretty good with the arm. Just needs a little work on the accuracy. So he's looking long there, but he's way too long for number 15, Lucas Snell. So Harrison will take over on downs here.
I don't know if you noticed this young quarterback, but to the right he's not that good, and boy, to the left he's accurate.
Yeah.
But just quick notification here.
So Harrison will take over, looks like on about their own 32-yard line here with 9 minutes and 15 seconds remaining here in quarter number 1 of this titanic struggle here at Bill Koontz Field. it is homecoming night here at Harrison, so you'll have all the normal halftime festivities of homecoming, queens and kings and pageants and all that type of stuff. So big night at Harrison. So Frankie Young back in the, looks like going to take a step back, pistol formation, one button running backfield, and he's going to hand off, looks like to Ben Scott. Scott's going to maybe get 2 or 3 yards. Yeah.
Here at game time, Jeff, we got about 73 degrees, and the sun is it's shining right in everybody's face. If you're looking at the, if you're on the Harrison side, if you're on the Talawanda side, you won't even know the sun's out.
That's right. It'll be just a little bit.
So it's not going to affect the football game whatsoever.
Well, Young's forte, Harrison runs the ball with Ben Scott, but it looks like they're still going to keep the ball on the ground. Nice yardage for Scott. Looks like
he's going to get a first down out of this, Jeff.
Yeah, Ben Scott, he's the leading yardage guy for Harrison on the ground. So coming into this game, he's got 315 yards on the ground, but the big horse is Frankie Young, the quarterback. When it comes to league stats in the Southwest Ohio Conference, Young got 1,126 yards passing. The number 2 passer in the conference has all of 459. So Harrison's forte is throwing the ball, and they've got a set of talented receivers. This time a little reverse there, and boy, there's some.
So far, they've had 3 plays and all been running plays.
Yeah, some big yardage there from Mr. Jace Fetty.
That's his first carry tonight too, Jeff, and it's a big one.
Yeah, it looks like that ball's going to come down. They're going to call it about the 32-yard line and 32-yard line Talawanda for the Wildcats. They've made their foray into Brave territory. Young back, takes a look over at the coaches, see what the call's going to be. Young takes a step back, kept 3 wide receivers right, 1 to the left, running the backfield. And once again, Ben Scott carries the ball for Harrison.
Jeff, they've got 4 plays so far, and it's all been on the ground.
Yeah, so far they're not pushing the air attack at all right now. So I think they probably want to keep that Talawanda defense honest, keep them thinking run, and at some point go up with it.
Well, you're going to see a lot of passing before this game's over.
And this may be a case. Pick, and now you
no
put the ball up.
To say it.
Complete out on the right flat from Scott. Or not from Frankie Young. Jace Fetty makes the first reception there of the game. Let's see. Boy, it's going to be third and real short.
I think he's inches away, Jeff. I don't think they'll even measure it.
Yeah, they're calling a third down. So third and 1. One man in the backfield alongside Young. He's going to hand off to Scott, who's got a big hole. He's going to pick up that first down, and he's going to pick up a few more yards along the way.
Picked up quite a few yards, Jeff.
Number 6, Ben Scott on the carry. Tackle made by number 32, Quentin Reese.
Well, once again, Harrison's just moving this ball down the field. They're all the way down at the 10-yard line. Wanda. Not much to be gained there, though.
I'm kind of surprised at that call.
Okay. So it's always kind of a rough position, Walt, when you got first and goal from about the 10-yard line. It's a long way to go to get to that goal line. That on the 8-yard line now, though. Snap to Young. He's going, and there's going to be. Well, no matter what he gains, it looks like it's going to be called back because there was a flag thrown in that backfield.
I think there was holding on there, Jeff.
Yeah, Tidwell for Harrison didn't have a lot of room to go, and the room that he did get was courtesy of a hold. And that hold's going to be far enough back. It's going to be they're going to be marched back a few yards. 6:21 here left in the first quarter. So we'll replay second down right here, and it's going to be placed at the. Looks like they're going to spot it about, I want to say about the 22, Walt.
I'm going to tell you something. watching the game, you might not believe it. This may be a benefit to Harrison. Gives them a little more room to work.
Sometimes that is the truth. It gives, when you got a passing attack, gives it a little more.
And they got a great passing game. You just haven't seen it in this game yet.
A little more room to cover. Talawanda kind of threatening a blitz action there. Young back to throw. Completes it. But the Harrison receiver is brought down right away by Wyatt Arno at Talawanda. So now
everybody was pretty well covered, Jeff.
Yeah, Jace Fetty took that in, but there wasn't any room for Jace to go. So now Harrison's got a little option here. They're on the 17-yard line. Harrison does have a strong young junior place kicker named Kyle Farfsing, so this would definitely be within range for Farfsing should they choose to attempt the field goal if they're not successful cracking the goal line here on this play. Young back. He's feeling some pressure. He throws. Is he going to get it? Yes, he is.
Wide open, Jeff. Wide open. I think you could have caught that one.
No question. Well, Frankie Young makes use out of his top running back, Ben Scott. Scott was all alone out there in the end zone, and touchdown it is for the Wildcats. And the Harrison takes a 6-0 lead here. 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Kyle Farfsing out the lineup for the extra point. Holding for Farfsing, going to be 11, Connor Kennett. Farfsing's kick is up, and it splits the uprights with plenty of room to spare.
Jeff, that was a 30-yard extra point. I don't know if you're aware of it.
Plenty of leg on that young man.
You're right.
And Harrison takes a 7-0 lead, Walt.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but actually, Talawanda had pretty good defense on that drive, although Harrison did bring it down. But I thought they played pretty good for a young ball team.
Yeah, young ball club. It's tough when you're 0-5 coming in, and you're halfway through the season, and things are not looking real bright for definitely any postseason possibilities. And you're probably in a pretty rough spot as far as your league race and all that type of thing goes. So
that's correct.
Just the fact that you come in here and you play hard, and you try to keep improving every week, and set yourself up for next season, if nothing else.
I think most everybody's aware Talawanda's Oxford, only one school district between Talawanda and Harrison. That's the Ross School District. So they're really close to us. A lot of these players in white out there used to be players, and some of the parents from these kids used to play for Harrison. And, of course, moved out.
There you go.
Out towards Talawanda. And
that's
and
right.
Course, there might be one or two of these players that came from Talawanda, too, that's got wearing green.
So Farfsing kicks a little squibber kick. Oh, it's going to be mishandled a little bit, and the Talawanda player is going to fall on it about the 25-yard line.
Jeff, was that?
That was Clayton Deathridge, number 24.
Was that intended to be like that, Jeff, or was that an accident?
I'm not quite sure if that was intentional or not. The first kick was kind of squibbly like that, so that may be the intent.
Well, don't give him a chance to run it back, that's for sure.
So crank back for Talawanda, lead the offense back out on the field. They start at their own 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Crank rolls left. He's looking. He's in a big heap of hurt right there, Walter.
Wow.
Yeah, sack on that place by number 9, Connor Mays of Harrison. Crank never had a chance to look. Oh,
I was looking. He didn't have anybody open either, Jeff.
No. It was well defended by Harrison. Harrison defense might be good warming up. Right now, they're back on their own 16 with a 2nd and 19 ahead of them. Going to be a pitch, a little sweep out to right, but there's not much coming that way either. So
half the team got him there, Jeff.
Yes, indeed. He got up close and personal with Austin Silcox when it was all said and done. So now we're looking at a 3rd down for the Talawanda Braves.
Number 23, Kyle Campbell.
Kyle Campbell just had no chance whatsoever. Logan Weber actually made the first stop there on Campbell. So now, Walt, you're looking at a 3rd and 26.
You think it'll be a pass play, Jeff?
Well, you know what? A few weeks back, there was a college game where the team actually had a 3rd, I believe it was 3rd and 93 yards to go. That may have been the all-timer, but this is right up there with that kind of.
You got it.
So Crank back to throw. He just kind of slings one out there. It's picked off.
Wow.
Picked off by Mike Browning of Harrison. He's going to have a nice return on it.
Boy, he sure is.
He's going to set Harrison up with fine field position here, Walt.
Boy, that's a young quarterback for you, Jeff.
Yeah, that was just
He
kind of.
just threw it up for grabs,
Yeah.
and that's what happens. You just can't do that.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Vonderheid's going to be instructing him.
He's not going to be happy.
So once again, though,
Interception.
okay, we're going to see a replay of that interception by Browning. It was just right to him. You'd have thought he had a white jersey on, to tell you the truth. With that, it went right to him.
At first, I thought it was kind of reflected, but deflected. But I don't think it was touched.
Well, Harrison's kind of in that, we call that tough first and goal position here at the 10-yard line. So they're going to line up. Scott in the backfield. Young's going to step back. Pistol offense. Here we go. Hand off to Scott. A lot of room for Scott, and he's going to cross pay dirt again. Another touchdown for Ben Scott. The Harrison Wildcats, who take a 13-0 lead over Talawanda.
That was a good call, but that is the hardest call to make up the middle. He had some good blockers there.
Oh, no question about that, Walt. So Farfson's going to come out and attempt that is another extra point in short order here, to say the least.
Correct.
Got his ace holder, Connor Kennett, holding for him. So let's see what happens on Farfson's snap. Was a little high. Kennett gets it down. It splits the uprights. Harrison takes a 14-0 lead over Talawanda.
Another 30-yard extra point, Jeff.
Kid's got a lot of leg.
That kid can kick.
He was at I believe at a camp at Ohio State this summer, and caught the eye of several college scouts. They're always looking for a fellow who can.
Is he a senior this year, Jeff?
No, Farfson's just a junior. So
I thought he was senior. Well, looks like the sun's setting out here in Harrison.
That's right.
I'm looking at the field out here. My gosh, that field's looking good.
I'll tell you
It's
what.
one of the few grass fields left. Everybody's going with AstroTurf, of course, but Harrison's staying the same as they did 50 years ago.
Everybody else loves the turf. In Harrison, you love your grass.
Right.
But I'll say this much. The famous baseball player years ago, Dick Allen, said, if a horse can't eat it, I don't want to play on it.
I never heard that.
And the kickoff from Farfsing this time, he gets a little more distance on it.
This was a kick. Taken
by number 15, Lucas Snell. Yeah, Lucas is not meeting with a lot of success there right now, Walt. It looks like they got him spotted at their forward progress, maybe about the 20-yard line. Yeah, Logan Weber made the stop for the Wildcats. So Talawanda needs to make something happen on this drive, or they may find themselves well behind the 8 ball before you even get to halftime.
First drive they had, Jeff, they looked great. They were just mixing it up, and everything was going good. And since then, they haven't really put anything together.
Yeah, there's nice completion out there to number 23.
It's a good play, just like they were doing in the first round.
That's Kyle Campbell.
Campbell's going to get 7 yards out of it. He was open, knew what to do with it.
That's right. Yeah, that play, they just very cool, calm, collected, didn't rush. Line did well for him. So they got a 2nd and short, about 2nd and 2 here at the 28.
Big problem we're going to have when you start passing like that with a young sophomore, there are going to be interceptions.
Crank under center, going to hand off to number 20. That's Blake Bryan.
I think Bryan got the first down, Jeff.
I was going to say, it looks like he advanced over the 30, and yes, it is. They're going to move the sticks over there on that far side of the field from where we're located here in the broadcast booth at Bill Koontz Field.
Well, as you look down, people are still coming in. Talawanda's got a good crowd here, and you know that's really hard to do when you're 0-5 and you got a real young team and they're struggling.
That's right.
It's good to see a good crowd from Talawanda supporting that team.
So Crank back to throw, and that ball was deflected.
Well, that was a nice play. Who did that for Harrison?
It was intended for Lucas Snell, deflected by Mike Browning of the Wildcats. 2 minutes and 31 seconds here left in the first quarter, Walt.
That Browning's been in a lot of plays tonight.
So, Talawanda faced with a 2nd and 10 here. Crank's going to be back in the shotgun again.
I don't know if you noticed this. They got 5 receivers out there, Jeff.
3
think
right,
this is going to be a pass play.
2 left.
Yeah.
He's looking for the man.
It's too far, Jeff.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you what. His receiver really laid out there to try to catch that ball, but it was just a fraction too far. Lucas Snell made a good effort, but just past his fingertips.
Well, what's going on here? It's pretty obvious.
So
Talawanda's quarterback, he's a young kid and he doesn't want interceptions, so he's throwing a little too far.
Yeah,
It's very obvious. And the one time it was intercepted, it was kind of a throwing up in the air.
That's right.
Good luck.
So now they're faced with a 3rd and 10. They're on their own 31-yard line. Crank back again, same formation as before. 3 right, 2 left. Man in motion, coming back across. Crank. Tell you what, Crank had a little pressure there, and he just unloaded that. At least that time a receiver was in somewhat in the neighborhoods. No intentional grounding on that one. But 4th and 10 for Talawanda. So that's probably going to bring up Evan Keebler, number 4, is going to line up for a punt. They're on their 31-yard line. Cooper McElroy back at the 40-yard line to receive for Harrison. That's a line drive kick. McElroy probably steer clear of that. Gets a nice roll, though, out of it.
It's a nice kick.
Going to roll down just about at the Harrison 30-yard line. So Harrison will commence their next position right there. Well, so far, Walt, I'd say we've pretty much seen what we expected coming into this. The experienced Harrison team that comes in here with a 3-win and 2-loss record has pretty well controlled things so far. Talawanda's had their moments, but so far Harrison's pretty much controlled the show.
Somebody had said they were a 3-touchdown pick. Harrison was. I would probably go along with that too. Coming into the game, but that's why you play the game. That's what's fun about it.
Yeah,
kind of surprised you threw a pass on that one.
Little throw out there to number 10, Levi Tidwell. He's brought down with a gain. Let's say probably about 7 to 8 yards on that one. Yeah. 56, Caleb Allen made the stop at Tidwell on that play. So going about a second, about 3 yards to go on this one for Harrison.
I'd say you're right.
Young's going to have Scott back in the backfield behind, but he's going to have 3 wide receivers out to his right. Snap back, going to hand off to Scott that time. Scott's got enough room to get the first down, and he's going to drag some Talawanda players with him, get a few more yards after that. Looks like they're going to spot that ball probably about the Harrison 44-yard line. We're under 2 minutes to go now in the first quarter.
I'll tell you what's happening here, Jeff. Harrison's got some good blocking up the middle, at least for Talawanda. They're having trouble with it. Yeah. Giving Scott a little opening, and that's all he needs.
Well, Harrison's got some fine young linemen. Eddie Sunderhouse, a 6'3", 270-pounder, among others.
It shows.
Good size. So Young back.
They got a 3-2 record, so you know this has happened before.
Okay, little throw out there. Oh, not. Tell you what.
Boy, he's taking that one home, Jeff.
That's right. He looks like he's going to go all the way. Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a little gainer of 2 yards.
That was Mr. Levi Max Tidwell again. And I'll tell you what, some nice running after the catch. He could have been brought down, but Tidwell did a little sidestepping, juking. Looked like he might be trying out for Dancing with the Stars next season, and ended up in that end zone. Touchdown, well, but it's going to come back. After we got all excited and did all that talking, Walt, laundry on the field, band playing the fight song. It's all for naught.
I thought he was going to get about 3 yards. I never dreamt he'd break loose because there's a couple right on him, and he was able to get away from him.
Well, it was a nice effort by Tidwell.
Yes, it was.
You know, that seems to happen sometimes. A player makes a great individual play, and sometimes the other guys on his team get caught up in the play and maybe or didn't intend to do something, but they accidentally do it because of the great move from their own teammates. So
You're exactly correct.
So when it's all said and done, we're back at first down again. Young pumped, faked. Oh, he throws again. Well, guess who's going to go back to again? This time going to be Tidwell again. Oh, well, we might have a little bit of extracurricular down there, and I think there's a good possibility the effort by Tidwell may go for naught again. Nice run after the catch once more for Tidwell, but that's going to be offensive pass interference. So we were at first and 13 to go at the 41-yard line.
I did not see that one, Jeff.
So we're gonna march back a little bit further. So Harris, let's see. That's gonna really march it back now. So you got your first and forever right now. So I guess the strategy here is get it back in little chunks. You don't have to get it back all at once. But it's going to take that ball all the way back to roughly about the 26-yard line of Harrison. So that's going to make it first and a whole bunch. Oh, well, this time Talawanda committed a violation that time. Talawanda defender kind of excited about the fact they hit Harrison walking backwards. Unfortunately, he's just going to help him move forward 5.
I think that's first or second penalty on Talawanda. I've been impressed with them. They haven't committed a lot of fouls.
So now it's going to be a first and 23, Walt. And we're under 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Ball's on the Harrison 31. Young takes the snap. He looks out there again. And looks like that's going to be complete to Jay Spetty.
I don't see any flags, Jeff. I guess this is going to be okay.
So Wyatt Arno makes that stop for Talawanda. And we might get one more play in here before the first quarter ends. 2nd and 15 for the Wildcats at about their own 39. Young back to throw. Oh, he's going to be in a heap of trouble. He steps tight. He's up. And looks like he's going to complete to Max Tidwell again. And that time, Talawanda player got a little bit excited about the catch. And we're going to see what happened there. And then after the tackle, the Talawanda player just wanted to make sure Tidwell was down, it looks like. Unfortunately,
I haven't figured out why they do that, Jeff.
So they're going to march down another 15 yards, and we will allow, with 11 seconds to go, there will be another play here before this quarter ends. I didn't check the Talawanda player's first name. I don't think it was Vontez, though, so just a little bit over exuberant.
I never did understand that for any high school team, or even when you get to the college level, when I see them do that.
Well, the clock's going to run out. First quarter's going to end. We'll swap directions on the football field with the score. Harrison Wildcats 14, Talawanda Braves 0.
Jeff, this is a tough statistic. How many points per game has Talawanda scored?
Well,
do you have any idea?
Well, let's see here. That right now, overall, Talawanda has scored on the season 28 points. That's over 5 games.
Right.
So that's literally less than a touchdown a game.
I don't see a lot of offense out there. You understand what I mean?
Yeah. I think they've got some prospects. I think they got some kids that look like they could develop. But once again, you're talking a lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors,
right?
And they just need some experience out there.
You're right.
So perhaps by next year, the horses might run a little bit better. But right now, they're not clicking.
That's hard on a team, too, when you're 0-5 and you come in the game and you're a 3 touchdown underdog.
That's right. Well, it is a beautiful night here tonight.
Oh, it's fantastic.
In the soybean fields of Harrison.
Usually when they talk about Harrison, they talk about the cornfields, but I do see with soybeans everywhere this year.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, Young back in the pistol again. Kind of a little rotation left. We're going to hand off And looks like
Well,
that was Ben Scott again, but there's not much yardage on that one for Mr. Scott. Might have got one. That's about it.
Well, they had two guys aimed on Scott the whole time that time, Jeff. They weren't fooled by anybody. Scott's the one really been hurting them up the middle.
As I say, Scott's it's been enough to take the attention away from the receivers a little bit, and it's opened up that Harrison passing offense. Young back to throw, and he's going to be complete to number 10. Tidwell's the man of the night for Harrison receiving. Walt, looks like we got some statistics here from the first quarter.
What do you see, Jeff?
Well, right now we look like Harrison overall 123 yards of total offense. But just in terms, let's see what we've got here in terms of looking for the
You got holding
penalties.
Yeah, it's
a lot of
holding.
penalties in this game. So in that first quarter, 4 penalties, 46 yards worth of penalties on Talawanda, 3 penalties for 29 yards of penalties on Harrison's. And like I say, we just had another one right there. Otherwise, it's been a pretty well balanced attack. Harrison, 63 yards through the ground, 60 yards in the air. Time of possession's about equal, though, all things considered. Young back to throw. He's looking. He's thinking. He's going deep.
There's a
And
flag,
Fetty just let that one go through his hands, but I think we're going to have a pass interference call of some degree. I'm just where the flag was thrown. I would suspect it's going to be on Talawanda, but you never can tell.
He threw the flag before the ball was even hit the
Yeah,
ground.
I think it was probably a defensive hold there, from what I saw from my
I'm thinking
eyes.
the same thing, but we'll have to wait and call.
And it is.
Yeah. Well, we called that one good, didn't we?
That's right. One thing, first quarter, Harrison didn't have to punt the ball. And Young was a perfect 6 of 6 for 60 yards. So with the pass interference play, we're back to a second down situation. 2nd and 9. It just negated that previous penalty. 10:33 here prior to halftime. Tidwell shifting left. Young's going to keep the ball. Young isn't going to find too much.
That's the first time Young's kept the ball in the game, and boy, everybody was ready for that.
Yeah, not too much open space on that one
No.
for Frankie.
He didn't fool anybody on that one,
That's
Jeff.
right. Okay. You know, one of Frankie's favorite receivers is his little brother, C.J. Young. And his look for C.J., I don't believe any tonight so far. It's all been Tidwell's been the man of the moment for the Wildcat passing attack. So
He's hit Fetty a couple times, too, but Tidwell's been the big gun tonight.
Young back to throw again. He's looking. Now you might as well just
Boy.
take off and run because he's got a
Yes.
whole lot of space available
Man,
to
oh,
him.
man.
And he's a big, tough kid, and he gets down to the 20-yard line. And I'll tell you what, the way that pile-up occurred, they're going to move the sticks. That to me, that was almost verging on the possible late hit there, too. It looks like he was down, and some guys came in to complete the play.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that. I agree with you.
Yeah, we're going to see that on replay
Yeah,
again.
let's see the pile up here.
Yeah.
Once
Young's
he goes
down. Oh,
No.
the ball popped out a little bit, I guess, after he'd hit the ground, so that's why the
Okay.
players were jumping in.
Okay. Well, Frank got a first down out of it.
Okay. 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for Harrison. Young's looking to toss her up again. Oh, boy, I'll tell you what. Great effort there. Looked like that was C.J. Young, Frankie's brother. Just couldn't quite come down. A great play by the Talawanda defensive back. So 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats after all that's said and done.
That would have been a great catch, Jeff,
Yes,
if he'd
indeed.
been
That
able to pull it down. He was double teamed. That was a hard
That
play.
would have been a Sports Center top 10 had he brought that one in.
I agree.
Okay, Young back to throw, a little quick.
That was
Looked
bad
like his arm
pass.
might have got hit there. I'm not quite
Yeah,
sure.
that was terrible.
Ball didn't go where he wanted it to go. So now Harrison's faced with a 3rd and 10. And they're on the Talawanda Brave 20. So it's 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats, 20-yard line. Farfsing is a possibility here if the Wildcats don't convert. Young looking to the sidelines for guidance. He's going to drop back in the gun. He's got 3 right, 2 left.
They got
But
a lot of receivers.
He's going to keep it himself. Pretty good yardage there. Not quite to the first down, but
That actually was a pretty good call.
yeah, going to be spotted. Looks like about the 11-yard line of Talawanda. They're in the position, fourth and 1. Let's see if the decision's made to go ahead and go for it. I don't see any sign of forcing. They might do a hard count here or something like that, perhaps to try to draw Talawanda off and get the first down that way. Talawanda, this is where a young team that doesn't want to get too excitable because they could be easily drawn offside. Young back. Young's going to keep it. Young's going to get it.
He's got the first down easy. He hits right through that. And that's what he's good at. You don't have all them yards he's had in the first 5 games, Jeff, unless you know what you're doing.
That's a fact. Well, once again, that's the experienced young quarterback, Frankie Young. Yeah, Frankie Young will probably be playing somewhere next year, no doubt about that. Good size, 6'3", 200-pound senior for Harrison. It's more about the 5, maybe the 5.5, 6-yard line. Young looking for direction. 8 minutes and 24 seconds on the clock and counting.
Well, my guess, Jeff, they're going to run that and give it to Scott. I'm just.
Seems to be a little.
Yeah, he's not happy with the line.
Yeah, a little bit disheveled there. So Young's got timeouts to burn, so might as well take one here. If you get a score at this possession, Walt, this game pretty well gets. As you like to say, you start hearing that large lady who has a nice voice warming up out there on the airport runway.
Yeah, this is true. This is homecoming night, Jeff. What happens at halftime? Give me a full report if you could, please.
Well, you got a whole assortment of king and queen candidates and prince and princess candidates. So they'll all come out on the field with their escorts. And then there'll be some folks get crowns on their head. And there'll be a king and there'll be a queen. And all will be celebrating. There will be girls crying, guys smiling, photos being taken. It'll just be a typical high school homecoming festivity.
I think you hit it right on the head, Jeff.
Okay. Well, this was kind of an odd play right here, Young.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. Hey, that developed kind of strangely. I got to admit, I was hearing like a whistle in the background. It was just kind of an odd.
You've got a replay on this, Jeff. He's looking for somebody open. Yeah. He's got nobody, so it's an option play.
So he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be second down. 5 yards, probably about actually 5.5, maybe even 6 to get to the goal line.
I really thought they'd hand it off to Scott to see what he could do on first down.
Young back. Young's hands off to Scott. Scott picks his way. Boy, he's close to that goal line. He may not be in, but if he's not in, he's knocking at the door.
They got 2 of them watching him, and I think he's within inches, but I don't think he made it.
Yeah, he's third, and it's like a putt that's about to drop in the hole, and all you need to do is blow on it a little bit. Let's see. Harrison's going to go back 5 yards. Harrison looked like the left side of the line moved before they needed to move, so that's going to march the Wildcats back 5 yards, and that's the kind of penalty that'll just drive coaches to the Prilosec counter at the local drugstore.
Especially when you're in the 2-inch line.
Yeah. Of course, as you said earlier in the game, sometimes the Harrison offense, give them a little extra room to work with, might be to their benefit. So let's see what Young's got up his sleeve here on this 3rd and 6. And once again, now they're definitely in position. If they don't crack the goal line, Farsing's definitely a possibility.
Correct.
Okay. Young's going to keep. He's going to get close, but is he going to cross the goal? And it looks like the signal is touchdown, Harrison. And that moves the score to 20-0. 6 minutes and 30 seconds before halftime. Well, that drive had a lot of stops and starts and penalties and what have you, Walt. But at the end of the day, one more score for the Wildcats.
You're correct. That would have been a big play if Talawanda could have held him there.
So Farfson's looking for his third point of the evening. Snap to Kennett. Nice hold. Nice snap.
Wow.
Right through the goal post.
I don't know if you know how far. I keep saying it every kick, but this kid is kicking it 30 yards, Jeff.
That's right. No question about that. No question there. Well, real nice evening for Harrison, Walt. 6.5. We're halfway through the second quarter here.
So you're exactly correct. So far, the whole game's really belonged to the Wildcats, Jeff.
Yeah.
But they are playing a younger team, and
yeah,
Harrison's got a good ball team. I don't know if the fans are really aware. They went to East Central, came from behind, won that ball game. Last week, they had the game won within a few minutes to go, 5 minutes to go to the game. They had a lead. It didn't look like it on the scoreboard when you watch it on TV, but you're talking, this is a good football team Harrison's got.
It was a closer game last week than what the final score indicated.
That's correct.
And the only game they really were drilled was by Anderson's Redskins, and that's just a very fine football team. Right now they're sitting in the top 3 in the Harbin ratings for this region in Division II. Harrison sits 7th, so Harrison's kind of in a position. Ball falls off the tee right there. But, yeah, Harrison is in the position right now. They're going to be finishing up the season here with several teams who are actually Division III. So they Harrison, if they want to continue to make the playoffs, and which they can, should they win out, but they're going to have to win out. A little worm burner kick there. Number 15 for Talawanda takes, and he's going to be hog-tied and brought down.
Harrison's always had a good kicking team, Jeff, and I'm surprised tonight. I haven't seen their kicking game.
Yeah.
They've had a couple scribblers and the short kicks.
Yeah, as I say, I'm not sure if that's really to prevent the run back or not, but
it could be too.
But,
I mean,
Farfsing definitely has the leg. We've seen that on his extra point attempts as well as some field goal attempts during the season. So let's see what Talawanda can do here. They're going to start at their own 24-yard line. Man in motion to the right. Crank back to throw. Nobody's right there. Nice completion to number 23, Kyle Campbell. I believe are they going to move the chains or not? Silas Kugler made.
I'm like you. I didn't think they had a first down on that, Jeff. But
Silas Kugler made the stop for Harrison, so I think the officials figured out it's 21-0. We won't be too particular on this. Okay, Crank, he's rolling right. Overthrew the intended receiver, Kyle Campbell. And actually, looked like the receiver had a little bit of opening there. If they'd made connections, that might have been a nice gainer. So it brings up 2nd and 10 for Talawanda here. A little bit under 6 minutes to go here before halftime.
Just watching. This is the first time I've seen Talawanda play this year, but he is so accurate when he throws to his left. When he throws to his right, he's not as accurate. I don't understand this. And that was tipped. That pass was right on the money.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was very close. Mike Browning just got a fingertip on that.
Browning's having a great game tonight. He's been in almost every play.
So now we're looking at 3rd and 10 for Talawanda, Walt. What are you going to do if you're Coach J.D. Vonderheide, Walt?
You're going to throw the ball.
Okay. So Walt has said they're going to throw the ball.
Got 5 receivers out there. It's pretty obvious.
I think it's a very good possibility here right now. Crank looks to throw. Oh, and he had the receiver.
Hit him in his hands, Jeff. My dad used to say that. He said, hit him in a bad spot. Hit him in the hands.
That's right. Terrell Wills had it, but I think he was probably thinking about running after the catch.
Yes.
And there he went. So Talawanda's Evan Keebler's going to be back to punt for the Braves.
Who's back for the Wildcats, Jeff?
Cooper McElroy's going to be back, standing about his own 34-yard line to receive this. High snap. Oh, Harrison brought everybody but the house. Punt wasn't great, and it's going to go out of bounds probably about the 43, 44-yard line at Talawanda.
Wow.
Or Harrison, I should say. See where they spot it. Looks like they're going to spot it at the 45. So Harrison's going to take over. 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go here before halftime and all the halftime festivities. I know our good buddy Mr. Shunk here is going to be, has to leave us for a few minutes. I believe somebody wants to talk to him downstairs about something. So I'm going to say adios right now, and then I'll see you coming back in the second half, Walt. So I'm going to wing it here on my own without the able color man here, Walt Shunk. Marty Brenneman has Jeff Brantley, the cowboy. I got Walt Shunk, the trucker. So the trucker is heading down to the sidelines. And actually, now that the trucker's out of the way, Mr. Shunk has served on the Southwest Local School Board for the better part of 40 years. He doesn't know it right now, and that's why I was coming up with some hooey about why he had to leave the booth. But at halftime, he's going to receive a surprise honor from the school district in honor of his many years of service to Southwest Local School District students as a member of the school board. So richly deserved honor. Hand off to Ben Scott. Ben's got a lot of room there going, boy. He's going to just will his way not just to the first down, but way down the field too. I'll tell you what, that's one of the fine runs. I don't ever recall seeing one like that. That pile just moved literally about 15 to 20 yards all on its own just through the sure will of Scott. We're going to see a replay of that. And really, he was stopped probably, maybe somewhere shy of the first down. And that pile just kept moving, and he just kept carrying Talawanda players with him. Quite the effort by Ben Scott and the Harrison lineman who came down to help him. So Harrison ball. Young pumps, but he's got a receiver wide open there. And I'll tell you, let's see, that's going to be C.J. Young. And guess what? Harrison takes a 27-0 lead. 5:01 here left before halftime. Yeah. Frankie, his brother, pumped a couple times. C.J. was wide open, made one cut, got through the Talawanda defenders, and 27-0. Harrison lines up for the extra point. So far, it's looking like it's going to be a happy homecoming celebration here for the Wildcats. Kenneth to hold, nice snap. Farfsing to kick. He splits the uprights, and that moves the score. Harrison 28, Talawanda's Braves 0. So right now, this has been pretty, as we speculated, Talawanda coming into this game with an 0-5 record. I'd say they put up a respectable fight, but the strength of the Wildcats with their more experience, some better skilled players, have just been dominating this first half. So 28-0. Say Talawanda last week took it on the chin from Little Miami, 35-7. Little Miami's been kind of surprised of the league this year in the Southwest Ohio Conference. So far, they have a record of 4 wins and 1 loss. They may not have played the caliber of competition, let's say, that a Harrison has, playing some Division I teams and top teams in Division II. But to make a long story short, Little Miami, and that'll be, I believe that's who Harrison has next week as their opponent. They'll be going to Little Miami. And Little Miami has been the weak sister of the Southwest Ohio Conference for quite a few years. I'm sure with their 4-1 record this year, they'd like to get something back. This time, Farfsing booms that kickoff all the way back to the end zone. But it was a touchback. He looked like he actually backed in. His back foot must have been in the end zone. So with that being the case, no return. And the ball comes out to the 20-yard line. So this is where Talawanda will try to Talawanda will try to mount some kind of an offense here before halftime. Try to get some points on the board. So Crank's back. This time he's got two backs there on either side of him in the backfield. One goes in motion to the left. And Crank, he's just going to keep the ball himself. Oh, he stumbles. Good gain there. He may be off to the races. Somebody's going to have to force him out of bounds, if anything. They can't get him out, and they finally run him down. Looks like it's going to be at about the 12-yard line. What a scamper by Adam Crank. That goes all the way from the 20. That's about 60, let's say roughly about a 65-yard scamper right there for Adam Crank. I think the Wildcat players were all concentrating on everybody else, and Crank just tucked it under, took off. So now they are knocking at the door at the 15-yard line. Pitch left, but there's nothing going to happen there for number 20. That's Blake Bryan of Talawanda. In fact, he's probably going to lose a couple yards on that, back to the 17-yard line. Yes. Several Wildcats greeted Bryan as he crossed. So that's going to move to the 17. Couple-yard loss, going to make it 2nd and 12. Clock ticking down to the 4-minute mark here before halftime. Crank back. He's looking for a receiver who's wide. Oh my goodness, that was almost picked off. Almost picked off by Harrison, deflected, and then the Talawanda receiver. Number 80, Tyler Engelhard, almost got it on the deflection. But it's all for naught, and it brings up 3rd down and 12. 17-yard line. This is Talawanda. Would really like to get something on the board here prior to halftime. So here we go, 3rd and 12. Braves looking to try to get something going here. Crank takes the snap. He looks. Got a receiver open perhaps. Harrison defender. I think that's going to be a touchdown perhaps. Both of them, yep. They're going to call it a touchdown, Talawanda. Look like the defender, Harrison defender, and the Talawanda player both had control. But Engelhard comes down. He's got enough control of the ball. So even though both players had their hands on it, Talawanda gets a score. J.D. Vonderheid's offense clicks. So now they set up for the extra point. Kind of a little shifty formation here for the extra point. Snaps up and down, and that is smothered. So, Austin Silcox walked right in front of that extra point attempt of Engelhard, so Engelhard doesn't complete the 7-point trifecta there. And as a result, no extra point. It's 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go here in this struggle. But right now, Talawanda finds himself down by the score of 28-6. Absolutely needed to get some points in that possession to give them a little life going into halftime. Be interesting to see what Harrison does here now with the. They should have possession if they make something happen here. Remember, once again, they deferred the kickoff. So they'll take the second half kickoff as well. So let's see what Harrison's plans are on this possession. They're lined up. They got five men up front, 6 backs. I think they're expecting there could be a possibility if not an onside, at least some sort of squibber type of situation. Let's see what Engelhard does. Okay. Officials are ready. Engelhard's ready. Team's ready. He approaches the ball. And he gives it a little kick down there. It's going to be taken at about the 15-yard line. Dancing around. Can't see who the Harrison receiver is, but he's going to cut back across the field. But going east and west is not going to do him too much good. Looks like that was Sam Stroud for Harrison. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Hunter Henry for Harrison who took that kick. And Harrison offense will come out 3:35 here before halftime. Let's see what they do here in terms of, they're going to start at they're going to start at their own 23-yard line. 77 yards to carry if they want to put another touchdown on the board. Scott back. Going to look for his receiver out there. It's completion to Tidwell. He kind of looked like he lost his footing there at about the 25-yard line a little bit.
Pass by number 12, Frankie Young, to number 10, Max Tidwell.
So the ball's going to be spotted. Going to say, it looked like it was probably first down yardage. So Young looking for instructions from the sideline. Clock continues to move. Young hands off to Scott. Scott picks his way through the defense. It's about, looks like might get about 9 yards out of that carry. 3 minutes left here before halftime.
6, Nathan Scott was the ball carrier. Tackle was made by number 1, Luke Richardson.
Okay. Talawanda making some substitutions on defense. Harrison looking for guidance from the sideline. Young back. Going to give that ball back to Ben Scott again. Scott's got some nice yardage. Nice yardage. Looks like he got out of bounds. They're going to move the chains. That's going to stop the clock. Looks like it's going to be spotted at approximately the 44, 43-yard line of Talawanda. 2:27 left in this second quarter. Harrison matriculating the ball down the field. Very, very cautiously. Young, another handoff to Scott. Not too much room there for Scott. Maybe 2, maybe 3.
For 6, Nathan Scott, the ball carrier. Tripped up by number 24, Clayton Deathridge.
Maybe 2. Clayton Deathridge makes the stop for Talawanda's Braves. Second and 9. Under 2 minutes now before halftime. Harrison's kind of in the position they probably want to make the keep the clock running, perhaps. No sense in giving him a chance. Jake Reardon in the backfield for Harrison at this point, though. Young looks. Young pumps. Man's wide open. That looks like it's going to be another score for the Wildcats. Yes, indeed. Brett Reinstadler, number 80 for Harrison, I believe, gets the catch. Just outran the defense. Yes, indeed. Brent Reinstadler for the Wildcats moves the score to 34-6. Okay, kicks up. It's good. So with 1:31 left before halftime, Harrison gains back that touchdown they gave up to Talawanda. And you're looking at a score of 35-6. Brett Reinstadler for the Wildcats gets his name in the scorebook tonight. Yeah, this is a battle of Talawanda, located in Oxford, of course, the home of the Miami University. Well, be the Red Hawks or the Redskins, depending on your preference. And both head coaches actually are veterans of Miami University lore from years ago. And, of course, Derek Rehage, Harrison's coach, fine linebacker for the Red Hawks back in the day. Rehage actually was signed by Pittsburgh Steelers, spent a little bit of time in NFL Europe, as a matter of fact, in his younger days before he came back to the local. Of course, Rehage, before he went to Miami, was a player for East Central, Harrison's bitter rival across the state line. But Harrison's very happy Rehage has become a Wildcat now and doing a fine job. He's been a fine assistant coach for the Wildcats for a few years and now doing a fine job as the head coach. So we got the kickoff by Farsing. He booms it down to about the 6-yard line. Might be Brian take the kick. And well defended by some of the Wildcat special teamers.
Kick by Farsing was fielded by number 15, Lucas Snell.
Lucas Snell took that kick for Talawanda.
That was made by number 42, Mike Browning.
Mike Browning thumped him on the return. Stood him right up. Ball's at the 15-yard line. So now we'll see what Talawanda's got up her sleeve for this last minute and 23 seconds. They were very successful on their last possession. So let's see what Crank and company can do. Snaps a little bit high, but Crank keeps the ball, but a little bit of a stumble there. That gave the Wildcat defenders time to react. They're going to keep the ball on the ground. That's going to keep this clock running. And they've got all three of their timeouts remaining here in the first half, but they don't seem inclined to take a timeout at this stage. Harrison's already used one of theirs, but I don't think they're going to be inclined unless they decide they want the ball back. But with a score of 35-6, that wouldn't be an imperative thing to do either. So Crank back, take the snap. He's going to throw out in the flats there. His receiver 23 takes the ball, but I think they're going to probably keep the clock running. I don't think he got out of bounds. Yeah. Just out there in the not much running room there. It's going to be 3rd and 7. Down to 20 seconds to go before halftime. 3rd and 7. We'll see what Talawanda has up their sleeve here. Man in motion left. Throw out there. Oh! Well, now that stops the clock. Well, of course, 6 seconds to go here. Now, the one thing about the score right now, it's 35-6. It's a 29-point lead, so we are not at the point of a running clock yet. But this could become a factor here after halftime. Once again, Harrison will be receiving the second half kickoff. 6 seconds to go, 4th and 7 to go. Talawanda back in a punt formation. And high snap. Harrison's not going to make too much of an effort at it. Nice high kick. And Harrison receiver takes it. He brings it around the right-hand side. Going to run out the clock. And we're going to enter halftime on that fine punt return. Fine punt return by Cooper McElroy. But that's going to take us into halftime here. And regardless of what it says, the scoreboard says Harrison 35, Talawanda 6 as we go into halftime. Pretty dominant performance in the first half by the Wildcats. So we're going to wrap it up here in a few minutes. Going to take it. Harrison's halftime homecoming festivities will be going on. And once again, Mr. Walter Shunk, my cohort in the broadcast booth, is going to be honored at halftime as well for his years of outstanding service to the Southwest School District. So we're going to wrap it up here for the first half action. We'll call it a little bit, and we're going to take a little break, get a little drink, and then we're going to come back and see the second half and see how it transpires. See you in the second half.
always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Does that run in the family?
This is the home of the most priceless kung fu artifacts.
But when you make an effort,
Dad, we're not supposed to touch anything. Oh, sorry.
Go long, son!
it's always worth it.
Whoa! Master!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I am gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Okay, we're back here. They're finishing up halftime here at Bill Coons Field at Harrison, where the Harrison Wildcats enjoy a 35-6 lead here at halftime. Just finishing up the halftime festivities here, where Miss Lily Borgenmanke, I believe, was named the homecoming queen here tonight. So they're finishing up the festivities and putting the crowns out and handing out the flowers and doing the hugging and the kissing and all them types of things. Once again, usual well-run homecoming pageant here at Harrison for tonight's game. So at this point, both teams have returned to the field. Of course, you got the mandatory warm-up period before they resume the second half anyway. So statistically wise, Walt, and I might add, Walt Shunk tonight received a fine honor from the district for his many years of service as a school board member in the community. So once again, kudos to Mr. Shunk for that.
Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate
so
your kind words, Jeff.
okay, but and with no further ado here, because I know Walt doesn't like people bragging on him too much anyway. So I and one thing I've always made a policy of in this broadcast booth is never to brag you up on you or let you think you know more than me, right?
That's a good rule,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, that's exactly the plan. So anyway, at this point, well, we got a little bit of time here. We'll talk about some of the statistics in the first half. Harrison doubled up on Talawanda's Braves on offense. 290 yards of total offense for the Wildcats, only 145 for the Braves, and most of that was on that drive where they scored their touchdown. Passing-wise, Frankie Young's attempted 11 passes. He's completed 9 for 145 of those yards. He's just through the air. They've all equaled what the whole Talawanda output was. Rushing-wise, Harrison's Ben Scott, 90 yards on 11 carries. And let's see here. Let's just see some other things here. Receiving, Max Tidwell for Harrison, 3 receptions for 31 yards. Jace Fetty's got 3 receptions for 22 yards. Touchdowns have been scored, though, by Mr. Ryan Statler and Mr. C.J. Young, though, for the Wildcats tonight. So everything's been passed around pretty well. Harrison scoring. Ben Scott, 2 touchdowns. Frankie Young has a 6-yard run for a touchdown. C.J. Young caught one from his brother for a 33-yard touchdown. And then Ben Reinstatler caught a 42-yard pass. Kyle Farsing was perfect on his conversion attempts. And the 1 touchdown for Talawanda was by Tyler Engelhardt, a 17-yard reception from Adam Crank. So, Walt, looks like we're about ready to begin the second half. We might add one thing here, too. Harrison leads us by a score of 35-6. That's a 29-point lead. If Harrison should score on this next possession, the running clock rule in Ohio football takes effect. If team leads by 30 points, that clock doesn't stop except in dire circumstances, shall we say. So that would, I guess the idea is to, sort of the mercy rule, not create any problems. So at that point, if Harrison would score here on this possession, the running clock comes into play. So the kickoff.
Well, that was a nice kick too, Jeff.
That's it looks like Reinstadler. He's met by Gagel.
He's met by 3 of them over there, Jeff. And
oh, that was Hunter Henry. I'm sorry, I misidentified that number. So Hunter Henry brings it all the way back to about the 34-yard line, where Harrison will begin on offense. I don't think you're going to see anything too fancy here. Probably just try to put a solid drive together, Walt, don't you think? Run clock, and hopefully get in a position to start a running clock.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. One thing they don't want to do is they don't want to give the ball up, because you get bad habits quick, and Harrison knows this. If I would have been a guessing man, I said the first play they'll give
Ben Scott's on the way. He's still on his feet. Almost got knocked out of bounds, and he's going to go all the way.
Wow. Now that was a nice run.
Yeah,
I was just about to say too. The first play is going to be to Scott.
Yeah, look like
keep it on the ground.
Looked like the Talawanda defender was going to knock him out of bounds. We're going to see the replay on this, Walt.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Gets through the defense. Defender comes over. He kind of stumbles, trips, but keeps his footing, and then he's just off to the races again.
That's hard to do to get your balance again.
Talawanda defender caught up to him, but it wasn't until he was 2 yards deep in the end zone. So this is going to.
What a run by Scott.
22 seconds into the quarter. Hold by Kennett. Kick by Farsing. It's good.
Another 30-yarder. I know I'm repeating myself, Jeff, but that kid can kick.
Yeah, 42-6, Harrison's Wildcats.
I'd love to know when they kick the ball back, if it's intentional, because none of his kicks have been long tonight, Dale. Been scribbly kicks, just short kicks, and I wonder if that's in the play in the night for the Harrison Wildcats.
You have to wonder, I mean, just sometime to prevent returns or whatever. Farsing, the last couple of kickoffs, though, he's put some juice into the ball on the last couple of kickoffs.
Right.
So Coach Rehage has got to be very happy with that.
Got another look at the touchdown?
Yeah, let's take another look at that here one more time, Walt, just to see what Scott did.
That's actually amazing.
Oh, that's on the kick return right there.
Kick return. Now
here comes Scott. That was a quick run there, Walt.
Here it is.
There we go.
Yep.
Off to the races he goes.
Right here.
Yeah,
when he loses his balance, that's amazing. He can pick it up.
Yeah, he tightrope down that sideline. Walt, if that had been you or me, we'd have fallen out of bounds. Don't you think?
Then after that, we'd have went to the hospital.
That's right.
You're right.
Well, here comes the kick by Farsing. He puts it up there a little bit short though. Must be Mr. Snell for Talawanda is going to take it, and he's going to be brought down about the 34-yard line.
He brought it back about 8 yards on that play, which isn't bad, because Harrison was down there right now.
So with a 36-point lead, once Talawanda, you get the stop here on this change of possession, but then they should start the clock up here very shortly and keep her running. About just shy of the 33-yard line of Talawanda. Crank looks to throw. Man, he's just a little bit long. Man had a little bit of opening. If the pass had been a little more accurate.
He had some room to run, Jeff.
Yeah, it's kind of been the case all night. Once again, the young Crank, if he gets a little experience behind him, a little practice and all that over the course of the season, next spring and summer, they could be a very dangerous offense to deal with next year.
Right.
So now he's rolling left.
Notice this was on the right side.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I mentioned this earlier in the first half, Jeff. His passes on the right are always overthrown. His passes when he throws it to his left have been right on the money.
That's right.
Well,
this time here, nice completion. Mike Browning, though, stood the receiver up. It's going to leave a 3rd and 1. Crank back to throw. And the ball's going to be complete.
Going to be good enough for a first down, Jeff.
Nice tough run. They're going to say he's forward progress, but started about the 48-yard line, 47-48.
Again, another pass to the left. And when he passes to the left, he is accurate.
That's right. Engelhardt makes the reception. I don't know if you're able to see while you were heading down for halftime that run of Ben Scott's, though, where basically he carried the whole team for about 15 yards, Talawanda.
Right.
Yeah, just would not be brought down and kept driving the legs, pumping the legs.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I found that amazing.
So Crank back to throw. He's lobbing it up there. Well, oh, it's just off the fingertips. My goodness. Terrell Wills almost looked like Terrell Owens right there on that one, Walt.
But also, Jeff, I don't know if you noticed, but they had 3 men on him. He just outran all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Problem was he's overleading them. If he can back off and get a little more accurate with that pass.
Well, we talk about the youth there.
Talawanda's going to have a good offense.
Yeah. Wills is a sophomore. And, boy, that was just fingertip. And, of course, the clock keeps running. So we're already under 9 minutes now. And is that ball knocked down, but close to an interception?
I thought it was intercepted, to be honest. I really couldn't see that well. But
the pass knocked down. So Crank's pass falls incomplete.
And again, I know the fans are tired of hearing me, Jeff. It was the pass to the right.
Yep.
And he's having trouble to his right.
Rolls left and
throws to the right.
A little more accurate.
Correct.
But on the incomplete pass, right now under the rules we're under, the clock does not stop. Crank back to throw. He's looking. Oh, my goodness.
He's seen something there. I'm not sure what he's seen, but
I'm sure that's probably in the neighborhood, something defensive, and probably most likely on Harrison. And it is on Harrison.
Yes. I didn't see it myself.
So, moves the ball, going to be spotted, looks like about the 37, 38-yard line of Harrison. So Talawanda has entered Harrison territory, but they've got to move quickly and try to get this score under 30 because time is a-wasting.
Well, they're in 4-down territory now, and field goal is going to do them no good.
So Crank back, man in motion to the left. Fake to him, pass over to the right. Oh, my goodness. Pass was incomplete.
Pass off to his right again.
And a nice shot by Cooper McElroy put a little hit on Blake Bryan there afterwards.
McElroy, I'll tell you, he got hit pretty hard too.
Yeah,
both of them got hit.
That was pretty good contact right there.
Very good contact.
We're already under the 7-minute mark here in this third quarter. Talawanda approaches the line. Frank sizes things up. He's rolling left. Let's see what happens there. Pass was way too high on that one there, Walt.
Official was right on that. I thought that was interference, but boy, the official was right on it.
Yeah, I was going to say
it was uncatchable. I
know
that.
Manute Bowl would have had a problem picking that one up.
I don't think he could have caught it if he had a ladder, Jeff.
So it brings up 3rd and 10. And this third quarter's just flying right by. Because I would tend to suspect if Talawanda does not score on this possession, you're going to see Harrison milk the clock.
I would agree with that.
I don't think they'll do anything too fancy. Big rush, Crank under some pressure. Pass is too high. Crank was dropped.
Boy, that kid at number 30, he almost came up to that pick. Number 8, was it 30 or 80?
Hayden Ellis back. Hayden Ellis was on cut covering Tyler Englehart. That pass was well incomplete though. So Talawanda's got 4th and 10.
Yeah, it was 80, Jeff.
So we'll see what Coach Vonderheide has up his sleeve here.
It's real simple, Jeff. Throw.
Good possibility.
Tell you what I do. I'd run the ball right now. Nobody's going to expect it.
Something like a draw. Cranks.
Wow.
Yes. Austin Silcox, the fine linebacker for the Wildcats.
I can watch this here because he isn't touched. He just comes.
Silcox wasn't touched. Came in on Crank's blind side. Crank didn't know what hit him till he was hit.
He didn't have a chance. Now he gives Harrison good field position too, Jeff.
So we got changed possession, so the clock does hold temporarily at the 5:01 mark here of quarter number 3. Harrison still showing the trips right. Single wide receiver left. Scott in the backfield along Frankie Young at quarterback. So Young, that's a handoff to Scott. Scott keeps picking his way through. Scott's not going to be brought down until he crosses over into Talawanda territory, all the way down to the 44-yard line. Move the chains, Walt. 1st and 10, Harrison.
Scott's got to have some real yards, especially after that touchdown.
I'm
anxious to see the statistics once you get it
I
at the
was
third
going
quarter.
to say, I'm going to be interested to see the end of the third quarter statistics. Scott's going to be probably pushing 160, 170 yards because I would suspect the ball's going to be in his hands quite a bit now.
And they keep giving it to him. He's got a chance to hit 200 yards.
Yeah, and right there, looks like about another 8 or 9 yards right there on that carry.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, as I say, he had 90 coming into the second half.
I know you fans out there that watch football, you know this, but the blocking has been unbelievable of the Wildcats. They're giving them holes. The secondary's coming up and stopping this kid.
Yeah, Harrison offensive line has done a fine job this evening.
Absolutely.
So Young's barking out the orders, what he wants his offense to do. It's going to be a snap to Young. Guess what? Mr. Scott's going to.
You would think.
Always.
It's going to be good enough for a first down. But, Jeff, wouldn't you think Talawanda would know Scott's going to get the ball and just key it on him?
Actually, that time they give Scott a little break on that. Ball was handed off. Jacob Reardon give Scott a little bit of a break here now. Scott's kind of done his work for a while. So let his understudy, Reardon, come in and carry some of the load. We're already under 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter, Walt.
Well, that running clock, that'll kill you.
And Young dancing around. Young's just going to take a knee.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Wasn't anything there.
I
Well,
have not seen that by a quarterback.
and guess what? That's going to be the end of the night for Frankie Young. So, looks like assuming the role of quarterback is a fine young sophomore for the Wildcats. Shows a lot of promise. Connor Kennett.
Well,
So Coach Rehage is calling off the dogs now. Clock's running. Let's see what Kennett can do. Let's see what they do offensively. I suspect there'll be a lot of handoffs, but Kennett will get to show what he can do. Hand off to Reardon. Reardon, you might change the faces, but the results are still the same, Walt.
that line's still the same, Jeff. I don't think they've moved those big boys. They're bringing a couple more linemen in now.
Yeah, it looks like I say, I think it's going to be wholesale substitutions here for the Wildcats.
Right.
Biggest worry they've got probably is making sure guys are eligible for the JV game tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Well, that was an 8.5-yard run. 8-yard run to that kid.
42-6, Harrison's Wildcats in full control of this matter. And Reardon kind of tripped across the 25-yard line a little bit there. So
yeah, there was nobody there. That was a good block by the line for the Wildcats, and he had an opening and just didn't take advantage of it. Jeff got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it.
So let's see if the second team offense can generate a first down here. 4th and 2, minute to go in the third quarter.
Just 56 seconds remaining in this quarter, Jeff.
Still got some of these horses on as far as receivers go, but I don't think we're going to be looking at the receivers too much here. Reardon's got a little bit of a hole. I don't know. I think he's going to be a little bit short.
I think he's short too. I don't think he has it, Jeff.
Up, but now there's a flag on there. Was there a flag on the play? There is a flag. So let's see what happened. What that flag's all about down there. It's about two yards to go. And I don't know, it looks like some of the reactions down there. I'm not so sure it isn't a flag. Might be on Talawanda. But in the meantime, the clock continues to run while this is being discussed. And we're probably going to end. Okay, now we're going to. I guess they're going to call it a change in possession. Clock is finally going to stop. 3 seconds to go here before the third quarter ends.
I haven't got the call yet, Jeff. Can you tell us?
I have to admit, I don't know if I'm not sure. Okay, I guess I'm assuming probably personal foul on Talawanda after the play had ended. So Harrison turned the ball over on downs, and then Talawanda is going to start at their own 10-yard line, or 12-yard line, it looks like. And that's going to end the third quarter. Teams will swap ends, and the score now becomes Harrison 42, Talawanda 6. Kind of a confusing end to that third quarter, Walt, but
I'd agree with you.
Talawanda finds himself in a deep hole. They'd had a little bit better field position, maybe to try to generate something, but whatever the nature of that personal foul was, that just more or less shot themselves. That just shot themselves in the foot one more time.
Got the playback schedule up?
Okay, well now these games are going to be replayed. If you're watching it right now, it's going to be 11:30 tonight on 17 on Time Warner Spectrum and 8:47 on Cincinnati Bell. Saturday, it's going to be appear at 11:30 p.m. Spectrum Channel 8, Cincinnati Bell 8:38. It'll show again on Sunday afternoon, October the 1st. Heck with the Bengals and the Browns. How about 3 o'clock? Spectrum Channel 8, Cincinnati Bell 8:38. Now next Wednesday on the 4th, it's going to be on 8 o'clock. Ain't going to be on Cincinnati Bell-Fi Optics, but it will be on Spectrum. And you can all go to ICRC-TV.com. You'll be able to see replays of this then after this is no longer broadcasted on the cable TV channels. So Talawanda is going to commence again, Walt. And we've already got 20 seconds.
You know, we haven't given ICRC. We work with them here, Jeff. We know how they operate. This is first class. Yeah, it's enjoyable for me, and I won't speak for you, of course, to work with ICRC. And
nice catch by Wills.
That was a nice catch.
Yeah, the ICRC and basically volunteer crews. Correct. But I'll tell you what, they do a fine professional job. You see graphics, replays, just like you would with the big boys at ESPN and Fox Sports and all those guys. I don't know if the broadcasters or announcers are the caliber of the Fox and ESPN guys, but hey.
Oh, they're better.
Oh, we get a compliment from the truck.
And we appreciate it too. Thank you. That was very obvious. He was all over him before the ball even got there. Flag was on the play.
But the thing happens here, Walt, we've said this once, we've said it 10 times already about the running clock. So even though the penalty's in place, the clock continues to run because there's no change of possession.
Correct. It's going to move it up. That's going to give him a first down, Jeff. And
First down, but they still got a long way to go.
Yep. I don't know. It looks to me like Harrison's done some substituting on their defense too.
I think it's pretty much the JV team in here right now.
Yeah, I would say so.
So this might give Talawanda a little opportunity.
Correct.
Of course, this is where the first team guys tell the second team guys, we're up 36 points. You keep this lead.
I don't know if you're aware of that. They just had 6 Wildcats take that kid down. That's
they're swarming to the ball.
Yeah, they stormed to the ball. They did a good job on that. That's what the game's all about.
Yeah, Walt, might be one thing to mention here. On top of your 40 years of service to the district, another coach on Harrison, assistant coach, Howie Jenkins, has had many years of service to the district as well as an assistant football coach. And he's going to be retiring from teaching here during the upcoming school year. And probably just a compliment for all the years of service that Howie's given to Harrison football.
He's done a good job as a coach, been respected by the kids. He knows the game. You just can't say enough for him because I know Jenkins and I've seen him work over the years. And I'd say the same if it was one of the Talawanda coaches.
Well, that dog isn't hunting anywhere at all for Talawanda. That 2nd and 10 is going to become about a 2nd and 15, maybe a little bit more than that, perhaps.
I'm going to really be honest with you. I can't believe he got in there like that. He just went right through the line.
Yeah. Right now, when you consider this is still pretty much the first team Talawanda offense, JV Harrison are holding their own right at the moment.
But you got to understand too, this Talawanda's a young team.
Yeah. So
that was a one-on-one tackle, and that's how you play football, Jeff.
That's right. Kyle Campbell caught the ball. Derek Smith for Harrison made the stop out in the open field. Nice open field tackle by Smith.
That was a nice play by Smith.
Okay, so Talawanda's moving. 8 minutes to go here in regulation time, Walt. But that pass is incomplete.
That was a close play there. I thought that was interference too by the Wildcats. I think looks like the Wildcats got some young kids coming up that can play the game.
Yeah, Harrison's. Talawanda is in a position. They're playing a lot of their sophomores, juniors.
Yes,
might even be a freshman or two spaced in there. To be honest about it. But Harrison's got a fine young sophomore class as well. So Connor Kennett, fine young quarterback. But obviously, when you got a guy the caliber of Frankie Young, you got to wait your turn. Crank looks back to throw. Way a little bit too long.
Pass by Crank, incomplete. Intended for number 23, Campbell. And on the blanket coverage, typewriter again. Special shout out to the line.
So, with that being the case, Harrison's going to take over on downs. The clock continues to wind. It's under 7 minutes now, 6:54.
You know, that's something they just showed on TV here that the ICRC got here. We haven't mentioned all night. Harrison kids, they have got a big group here tonight.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, the Harrison student section.
That's what I'm getting at.
Is known far and wide. In fact, one of the notorious things here was the first game of the year out at East Central, which will probably be ever known as the baby powder game. I'll just say in years past, the Harrison student section, kind of did the LeBron James thing with throwing baby powder, talcum powder, whatever you want to call it, up in the air to have a little celebration. So all was well. Well, the kids maybe got a little bit overexcitable at the East Central game, cleaned the town out of baby powder and talcum powder to the extent that the halftime tossing of the baby powder led to Harrison getting a delay of game because you couldn't see the field to start the second half. Looked like the fog at the Golden Gate Bridge or something like that. But, some people got aggravated, but I'm going to tell you what, it was good, clean fun by the Harrison kids. I think they know they probably shouldn't do it to that extent again. End of story. Harmless fun. And when all said and done, Harrison came out with a win in that game, so everybody went away happy.
They'll probably keep this on the ground still.
Well, yeah, Walt, you just called it. Look at Kennett goes back to throw. I was going to say.
Well, I called that one wrong.
The Kennett boys' adrenaline was pumping on that one, and he slung it way out of bounds.
I think he slung it to his father up in the stands.
Well, one thing for certain, his father probably couldn't have caught it up in the stands if his father's watching this telecast.
So we're going to have everybody in Harrison mad at us.
That's right. We might as well.
Well, they're going to kick the ball, and this is the right way to play the game.
Yeah. Max Mizell, this is his first punt of the evening, so just kind of floats it out there, gets a nice little roll. Whoa, Talawanda receiver actually fielded that kick. That was a little bit dangerous to do.
Boy.
And he was immediately swarmed.
That isn't advisable. I don't care what coach it is. I'm sure Coach Vanderhyde, he wasn't happy with that at all.
Yeah,
you're down on the 10-yard line.
And
you're going to pick that up with 4 Wildcats right on top of you.
Especially one of them's Mike Browning. The game Browning's had tonight, you don't really want to do that again.
They got 5 receivers out there, Jeff. The whole
lays it right out there. Nice catch. It's going to be a foot race to the end zone on this one. Harrison defenders gaining ground. He might bring him down before the end zone, but no, not quite.
Boy, was that a pass. And there was nobody near him, Jeff.
Lucas Snell, that's Adam Crank makes a nice completion. Impressive looking score, even if it was against. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Just laid it right out there.
He's wide open. Nice pass.
Yeah, Crank's been just a little bit off here and there all night, but that time they made connection. And it makes it a score of 42-12. 4:25 to go. So this extra point's pretty crucial in terms of the running clock. We're at 30 points right now. If they convert, we go back to regular timing.
I don't understand why they don't go for the extra point.
Well, they're just going to go for 2, and I don't think he's going to get it.
He's not going to get it, Jeff. I don't understand that call. I'm sure there's a rationale for it on the Talawanda side, but I'd go for the extra point, stop this clock, and let's get another touchdown before it's over.
I think at that point, you need all the points you can get, so you might as well go for 2.
Well, that's the other side of it. My side is you go for a touchdown. You get the ball one more time, and
so
now with the running clock here, Harrison's going to pretty well eat the clock up, Jeff.
So we'll see what happens here now. Well, I guess the question is, will Talawanda try an onside kick?
Coach thinks he is.
Yeah, Coach is going to bring everybody up front, or at least quite a few guys. Coach Rehage's getting them up there toward the front line. Got to have 5 guys up front.
I'd give an offside kick.
4 guys on the second line.
If I'm coaching.
Really, what's it going to hurt at this point?
What do you got to lose? Get the ball back, try to get some points on the board.
So we'll see what Englehart does here. Okay. Getting a little bit of shift. Looks like this might be coming squibber or maybe just a little floater over the line. And it's going to go out of bounds.
Legs all over the place.
Yep. And as with a kickoff out of bounds, didn't go the yardage it needed to go. Harrison's going to take over.
They're going to have good field possession on this.
Yeah, not that the field position makes much difference. As you can see, the squib kick just went right, didn't really hang up.
Well, with this replay on these important plays, you can really catch it and see what's happening.
So the clock begins to run again. Kennett back at quarterback for the Wildcats. Got a whole gaggle of his classmates out there with him right now, sophomores and juniors. And of course, they're going to run every second they can off this play clock.
Number 26,
Cam Herring, number 26, going to.
Tripped up by number 34, Caleb Owens.
He didn't gain anything on that one, Joe.
No gain on the play. We'll bring up a second
So with that being the case, we're down to 3.5 minutes to go. It looks like this could go up. Give Kennett another chance at a completion possibility.
They might try it.
Once again, they're gonna take their time. No, Kennett's going to keep the ball himself. He's going to have some nice yardage.
He's a big boy, too.
Yeah, he's a big boy, and he just bowled over that Talawanda defender.
Number 11, Connor Kennett on the keeper.
3 minutes left here
Tackle was made by number 12, Luke Sarver.
in regulation time.
They're probably going to get a first down out of this. I look at it that Harrison's going to eat the rest of the clock up, Jeff.
Yeah,
they got 2 more downs. They're not going to kick the ball.
Kennett looking for instruction from the sideline. 2.5 minutes left here. And I think we can safely say in the game rather than regulation.
Well,
Kennett's on a keeper.
What a play.
And that
not even fooled me.
Yeah. And that first down there, if there was any question, that definitely was the icing upon the cake.
Correct.
Tackle was made by number 1, Luke Richardson.
You know, it's a little bit like Young. They like to run these quarterbacks, and this is a quarterback, Kennett. He can run. He'll be there next year, I would say, wouldn't you, Jeff?
Oh, I think, yeah, stature-wise, definitely he's got comparable size to Frankie Young.
Right.
No doubt. Gets his passing accuracy in order. He'll be a threat for the next 2 years. Yeah, let's see. Looks like Harrison's going to be called for some sort of illegal procedure, whether it was an offside or false start or whatever.
I don't know if you're aware of what happened, but the end moved, and I haven't got a number or name, Jeff, but I could read his lips. He said, "Who, me?"
Yeah.
Minute and 21 seconds, Jeff.
Yeah. I would say at this point it's going to be second down.
Number 26,
Frankly, at this point, Harrison would probably take a knee, run one play, take a knee, and that'll finish this off.
Well, when the game started, they were predicted by 3 touchdowns, Jeff, and whoever called that was close, but not close enough.
But definitely an impressive win tonight for the Harrison Wildcats. Should likely end up with a score of 42-12 over Talawanda's Braves.
Well, they won in every area, Jeff.
Yeah, it was just completely all the way across the board, offense, defense.
Number 26, Cam carrying the ball here. Tackle was made by number 24, Clayton Etheridge.
And under 30 seconds to go, I'm sure that will be the last play of the game, no question about that. So Harrison players return to the sideline. They'll have a challenge next week. They'll go up and play Little Miami. Little Miami's had a fine start to their season. And once again, Harrison needs to continue on the winning track to be sure of making the Division II playoffs again. So Walt, as time expires, that's the final. Harrison 42, Talawanda Braves 12.
Always like to analyze the game, Jeff, and this was an easy one to analyze. The Wildcats pretty well controlled offense, defense, special teams. You name it, they controlled it. And you got to understand, though, Talawanda's a young team, and you know they're just fighting right now to try to get better.
That's right. They're just trying to, like I say, try to get better every week, and the young guys get them prepared for the upcoming season. So
that's correct.
Walt, it was a fine evening here at Harrison High School. A happy homecoming for the home crowd, and they'll go down and celebrate, sing the fight song with the student section. Just an outstanding effort by Harrison's Wildcats tonight. They're going to move in the league. They're going to move to 2-1 in the league and a 4-2 record on the season. And once again, they continue on their ways. Walt, anything else you have to add before we wrap it up?
No, nothing whatsoever. I enjoyed working with you tonight, Jeff, and I always enjoy ICRC working with them.
Okay.
The game was real simple. Harrison Wildcats just outdid them in every area.
Well, Walt, I wouldn't want to break tradition, so I'm just going to say it now. Good night from Harrison High School. And Walt, it's up to you. Good night, everybody.